Alright, so today we're going to be replacing an exhaust gasket. This is the one right before the catalytic converter, I believe, on my Subaru Forester. Same general process for all cars. This is the gasket in question here. Definitely a little bit of an exhaust leak going on there. I'm sure there's probably other little exhaust leaks all over this old car, old rusty car, but that's the main one in question today. So it's actually a fairly simple process to put this in. All you have to do is unscrew the bolts holding this together, and then it'll come apart. You'll scrape the old shit out and put the new thing in and put the bolts back on. So let's get started. So here's what I got going on here at one side. I just got the this side of the bolt locked up against the frame of the car with a wrench. I think that's a 14. I think it's a 11, 12 on the other side here. And I highly recommend also lubing up these bolts first, especially if it's old and rusted together like it was for me. It'd take a lot to get these going. Looks like we're almost off there. So here's that bolt taken out. As you can see, the spring is completely decompressed now, and it does compress up quite a bit, probably almost half of where it's at now. It's not a bad idea if you're not getting new ones. In fact, you probably should clean this out a little bit if it's really rusty like this one is, because it's just going to make things so much easier in the future if you're ever doing something like this again. And also just putting it back together will be easier too. This nut looks fine. It's pretty much just this bolt that's absolutely horrible. So I'm going to work on that before I put that back in, but I'm going to go take out the other side now. And then I got a similar thing going on here on the back side. Got this wrench up against the actual exhaust pipe, and it does torque on it a little bit. Nothing to be really worried about. And then this on the back side, and that way I can just pull up on this. Well, that wrench holds the other piece in place. Alright, so this is what we're dealing with now. We can see the inside of the pipe here. And then, so this is where the new gasket's going to be, with the bigger side on that, to the left, because that way this bigger piece can fit into this part that's sticking out. Almost like the male end of a coupling type of thing going on. And then the smaller end going to the right. So we got this old shit in here, and now we can just go ahead and go around, scrape that out. Might try to pry these apart a little bit more. There we go. Just go around, start scraping. There you go. Now you can see. Just start scraping all that out. Alright, so here I am. I'm on the other side. So I'm going to pull this out of the way, and then this exhaust gasket's going to slide in there. Again, this was the side that had the, I'm going to call it the male side, because, like, you know, couplings. So the bigger piece will go on there, and then the smaller piece will fit into this side here on the left. So I'm going to pull it out of the way. Try to get you guys a good view, maybe. Just kind of press that on like so, and then slide this over it. And you can see how that new gasket fits in there. Alright, so it's going to fit in like that. And then all we're going to do is just the reverse of what we just did. So we're just going to put those bolts back through here on both sides. And then we're going to be all done. Alright, so here is both of those back on. Now they're barely started. As you can see, it's not even poking through the other side of the bolt there. But I'm going to do the same thing as before. Just going to switch the direction on this ratchet. So now I'm going this way. And then my 14 milliliter that I put millimeter on this side is now going to be end up getting pushed up against here, locking that one in place as I tighten. And when you tighten these, I would tighten one side for a little bit, and then the other side for a little bit, and then the other side. I want to just go all one side at once and then switch to the other side like I did when I was taking it off, Just helps kind of seat things a little bit more evenly. All right, so here we are. We got the new gasket in there. So we got the new gasket in there, and we have our new bolts. Now, how do you know if you've tightened them enough? Well, the spring can only compress so far, so just kind of go, you know, tighten them down good. Doesn't need to be freaking death grip going on here, but make sure they're nice and tight, and hopefully it sounds a lot better. If it doesn't, well, we probably got more leaks to find then. So thank you all for watching. See you later.